Hello and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 290 at scavengerlife.com on Christmas Day.
In New York City.
What more could you want?
Yep. So we're on kind of a little vacation. We talked about it. We are staying at a friend's place while they're out of town. We're taking care of their
cat.
Their devil cat.
Look, the cat has been very nice to us.
This is a very angry cat, but it's okay. I will gladly take care of an angry cat
for an apartment in New York.
A great apartment where we can cook.
Yes.
Okay, so we have some things to talk about.
Look, first I want to start with this. It's not on the outline. It's not planned, but I will say this. I love trash elves. I feel like I can relate to them on a level that I cannot relate to many other people.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. So I'm very grateful for the forums. Yeah. I'm very grateful for the people that we know through this podcast, because I have been around people in the last few days that I'm like, I don't understand you.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough being around people that don't view money the way we do.
Yes.
Where when you're, people that want to spend more and don't appreciate or don't choose to be thrifty or to whatever. Our little country enclave, we were kind of sheltered that way. When we come to a city, we start being around people who are spending much more than we do, and it makes us uncomfortable because we don't spend like that. And
right.
Yeah. Okay, now let's talk about trash shelf science.
Yes.
Because we are like little scientists. So imagine me, I am in a little lab coat. We're going to talk
that you found in the trash.
We're going to talk about experiments. And experiments are important. Experiments when you're selling on eBay. Because basically, we all have these stores, and we all have these like hypotheses of why we think things are happening, or what we think might happen if you did something. And the only way to know is to actually test the idea. And the forum that we have is such a great place for us to find experiments to try.
Yep.
Sellers come on and they tell us something works, but they don't ever provide any proof. They just kind of say these things. But if it sounds plausible, we'll try it.
Yeah.
Reality is really the best teacher. Don't you think?
Yeah. No, fact. You know what? It's better than reality.
Yeah.
You know what shapes reality? Facts.
That's right. So we talked last week about our free shipping experiment. We've done it before, but this time we're doing a real experiment, the best we can do. We talked about this. We put 1,300 items with free shipping: shirts, pants, scarves, hats, ties, patches, anything that can fit in like a pound.
Yeah, under a pound.
Yeah, and we added 10% to the price.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot more.
Right.
And the idea is what the people that love free shipping say is, it'll help your sales. We're now 2 full weeks into the experiment. No boost in sales. The things that sold, we have sold some of those items, but we would have sold those anyway, I think.
My theory is this. People stopped shopping before Christmas because they weren't going to get stuff in time.
Well, we'll talk about that. Our sales dropped anyway.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the things that were bought that had free shipping on it, I don't think they were bought because
of free shipping.
We sold just as many items as we normally do.
Yeah.
Free shipping or not. And I don't know. What's interesting to me is, since we talked about it at last podcast, the sellers that would come on the forum and talk about how awesome and important it is to put free shipping on there, they've kind of disappeared. I don't know. And that's another reason why I like doing these experiments, is because, we're now talking from factual basis.
Right.
And it was interesting. In the forums, people are like, well, free shipping on one-of-a-kind items isn't as important as if you're doing commodity. And yeah, okay, that's fine. So, but let's just say science is being done.
Yeah.
Free shipping is not the like solve all of your own problems. To me, I think doing things like sales and free shipping and all that is really just to soothe the seller. You know, it makes you feel better that you're doing something to try and boost sales.
Yeah,
that's my opinion.
Yep.
You know, but I think if you have quality items and you've researched the price and you've taken good photos and done a good title, that's the meat.
Yeah.
That's the thing that attracts a buyer.
Right.
I think all the other things, I don't know, I think is more just makes it you feel good. I mean, obviously, if you put a 50% sale, I mean, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But, but this whole thing of just like, add $3 more to the price, then put free shipping on there. It's kind of like a bait and switch thing to me. So, but we're gonna keep the free shipping on for
a little while. Let's just see.
Until it becomes annoying to us. Right now, let's just see.
Leave it.
All right, experiment number 2.
Yes.
The pay more for items experiment. So we've talked about this before, and the kind of argument is, instead of buying things for $1 and selling them for $30, why didn't you buy things for $25 and sell them for $100?
Right, or more, yeah.
So that way you're working less and making more. So we did that this week.
Especially because we're in New York.
Yeah, thrift stores are a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
Or are they?
Well, we'll talk about that.
We went to a thrift store and I saw, we saw these shoes. They're like $25.
They're brand new. Two pairs, brand new.
These like biker, these like bicycle,
like cycling shoes, like high-end cycling, leather, never used, have the clips on them.
Brand new. And I'm like, okay, if I pay $25, I think we can get $100 each for these.
Or hopefully
or more.
125-ish,
Yeah, 125. I also saw a leather briefcase for $20, and I'm like, maybe I can get $100 for that.
Yeah.
So I spent $75 for 3 items.
Right.
I mean, that's crazy.
For us, that's crazy.
I mean, we rarely even spend $75, period. But so $75 for 3 items. But, the idea is we spend $75 and we make $300.
Right.
Or more.
Or more.
But, like that math works pretty good.
Yeah.
But here's a couple things. Number one is, it's not so simple, It's not easy finding items for $20, $25 that will sell for $100 quickly. I mean, there aren't just stores you can go to and say, okay, I'll take 10 of those and then I'll do it. It takes longer to scavenge for those kind of items.
And a lot of times if you pay for something, there was something else we bought for $30, that's pretty much what they're worth. Like, you'll look it up and you'll be like, that's how much it sells for on eBay.
So it's not so easy finding an item that sells for, $20, $25, but then on eBay sells for $100.
$250,
I would love, so that argument of like, well, if you just are willing to pay more, then it's just easier. But then you spend a lot more time scavenging. And we all know, too, when you go to an auction, those valuable items are often always bid up too high because they're valuable.
They're valuable.
And people know the
it.
value,
Yeah. Whether they want it for themselves or not.
So, and the argument is we always have is this, it's easy to find cheap items. It's very quick to go out and scavenge items for $1 to $3 that sell for $30. I mean, we do it all the time. We go and we spend 2 hours, and we come home with a carload of stuff. We've spent not even $100. But then the problem is, it just takes a long time to put that stuff up.
Yeah, because there's a lot more.
We might only spend 3 hours finding the stuff, but it takes a week or more to actually put that stuff up. And then the other times, it might take you a week to find, 10 items that sell for $100 each.
Yeah.
But then it only takes you 3 hours to put those things up.
Right.
So really, it's more about where you want to spend time.
Right.
And that's what it is to me. But then the last part of the experiment is that is important is consistency.
Right. Right.
Like if eBay is our full-time business and we wanted to just buy high-end items, we would need to be able to consistently find items for $20 to $25 that sell for $100, week in and week out.
Not just once every month.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, and that's the thing with the items for $1 to $3 that sell for $30. I know I can do that all day long.
All day long.
So we bought these items, and we will see if these 2 pairs of shoes and the
briefcase,
we will list those really soon, and we'll see how long those takes to sell, and will they sell for $100 or more?
We will tell you.
Yeah. Because I don't mind taking those chances, but we'll see. The interesting thing is, at that same thrift store where we bought those expensive items, the very next day I was walking by and I saw that they were just about to open, and I saw that everything in the store was half price.
It was Christmas Eve. So they were doing a Christmas sale.
Yeah, and so I texted at you and just said,
"Come over."
And
you're like, put your coffee down.
Right.
Get your shoes on.
Come over here.
Come over.
And we were the only ones in that place for the first hour.
I mean, the only people that came in were people that came in as we were walking out. We had the whole place to ourselves.
And it was great because we had already looked
at stuff the day before.
And it was too expensive. So I knew exactly where everything was, and we got some really nice Ferragamo shoes. And
I will tell my favorite things.
Go.
So the day before, I was looking through the men's suits because I had shopped there before for a suit for you to wear to a wedding. Yeah. And I got a Dolce & Gabbana overcoat, whatever it's called. Right. It's a blazer to wear to this wedding. And I was like, this store has high-end suits, but they're too expensive at full price for me, as a scavenger. And I was saying that the night before, and I was like, get out of my way. I'm getting all of those that I wanted. So I got an Armani suit for $15. Right. I got a Dolce & Gabbana brand new women's blazer, made in Italy, 100% wool. Yep. $5, people. Yep. It was amazing. And just whatever. We spent $150. And the lady was so cute at the register. She's like, that'll be $145.90. And she's like, it would have been $300. Right. And we were like, we know. We were like so excited.
So my experiment of buying more expensive things was kind of dumb because if I just waited another day, I could have gotten all this stuff at half price.
But honestly, we don't know if that stuff would have been there. Because you heard the lady who had donated those bike shoes in the store. Yeah. And it sounded like she had just donated them. True. So they could have been gone. But we were kind of bummed. We were like, damn.
So experiment number 2, I'll give you more info. Will those things sell? Right. Does it make sense to, pay $25 and can you make a quick 100? Right. Okay, and the third experiment we'll talk about before we get to our numbers is the I want my own selling platform experiment, Right. And the argument is this, why should I have all my eggs in one basket? If I just have all my stuff on eBay or just all my stuff on Amazon, I'm putting myself in danger because I'm depending on them. Right. Why don't I just start my own website? Like, why don't I just sell my own stuff on, and so, okay. I'm like, you know what? That's a good experiment. Yeah. And actually, you're the one that had this good idea. You can now have buyable pins on Pinterest.
Okay, here's my thing. I want Pinterest to give the ability to eBay sellers to do buyable pins. But they only give the ability to do buyable pins on Shopify, which is super annoying. So I'm like, I'll just get a Shopify store. It's $30 a month. So I bought one yesterday. There's an app you can use.
A Shopify
app, like they have an app section to import your eBay listings. So I'm like, great, it's free, do it, import it. I'm thinking it's like Bonanza. Right. Honestly, Bonanza is seamless, and it syncs back and forth. It's actually kind of incredible. I'm like, it's great. Okay, so the import happened overnight. I looked at it. All my listings are double. And I wrote to Shopify. I was like, what the hell? And they're like, yeah, we're working really hard to make this functionality work. And I'm like, what do I do? And they're like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. It's just, for some reason, they're listing your available listings and your like listings that you relisted before, which I'm like, what?
And they strangely said, but you can go to a third party and import that way, and it should be right. But then you have to pay for another
$30 a month. I'm like, I'm already paying you $30 a month. That's crazy.
And like Mike from Atlanta was telling us on the forum, because he had tried all this stuff too.
Yeah.
It doesn't import all the info. It just does like the title and photos, but doesn't do all
It does the description,
right?
But it doesn't do any of the item specifics.
Right.
And I also don't think it does the shipping.
Right.
I'm like, this does not work for me. That I even said to this lady, I'm like, even a site like Bonanza, which I'm just paying like percentage fees to, does this seamlessly.
Right.
And she was like, oh, we're trying really hard. I'm like,
so
okay.
Our I Want My Own Selling Platform experiment kind of failed. The good thing is Shopify does a 2-week
it's a trial,
so we just canceled it. Or
I haven't done it yet, but I will tomorrow.
So I mean, I think the answer is when people say, well, I just want my own platform, you know, it doesn't seem easy. You know,
it's not easy.
Even Mike from Atlanta was saying, well, there are these other services that you can try, but they're more expensive.
They're more expensive.
I mean,
that's the beautiful thing about eBay.
So,
God.
you know, I hear people like, okay, great, like sell somewhere else, but you know, then it's just time or cash or both. And,
and will it be worth it?
You know, if anyone has experience with something like Shopify or whatever,
with your eBay listings, I would love to know. And so it's like, the other part about Shopify too was I really wanted to be on like Google Shopping. Like I wanted stuff to come up on Google,
right?
Which it should through eBay, but it doesn't always. So, and that was a whole other really complicated process. Like you have to sign up for a Google Merchant account and you have to verify your ID and you have to do all these shipping policies. I'm just like, I do not have time to deal with this. It'd be one thing if I were like a bespoke watchmaker and like, I'm just like, or I paid someone to do it for me.
Or starting your store from scratch.
Right.
Instead of like trying to import 5,000 items and then having to change. But, you know, look, I'll kind of give them a little bit of whatever. I mean, I don't think anything's going to be just like one click and like it's done and now you're everywhere.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some work involved, but it can't be I have to edit every single
5,000 listings
to get it in the right format. Like that's not smart. And any of these platforms that want you to import from eBay, they have to actually import it correctly, you know,
and keep it synced.
Yeah.
If something sells on eBay, it has to go away.
Right.
I can't manually do that. I don't have time to do that.
Right.
So,
next topic. So eBay, Terry on the forum pointed out something very good.
Shipping rate changes. I swear, shipping rates change every year. Sometimes I like to think that they don't, but they do. So
we'll put a link on the blog, and you can see how those rates are going to change. I think it starts like in the first of the year.
It depends on the carrier, but the first of the year are like the middle of January.
Now, so I guess I don't know. Yeah, it does seem like prices are going up every year. Good news is eBay labels, you really do save a lot more than if you go right to the,
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's
if you're not printing your labels at home, you crazy.
You kooky.
Yeah.
And then with Amazon FBA, it's actually been a pretty decent past couple of weeks for us. I mean, I'm sure for people that sell on Amazon, it's nothing. But we made several $100s off of just random books. Which is nice because there were some times where we weren't making anything, but I'm sure people that really sell on Amazon, they've been doing really well with
Christmas time
toys.
Yep, totally. That's not us.
Yep,
we're long tail, the weirdest books you've never heard of.
And actually, you officially pulled us out of being a professional seller.
2 things I did. I took off I forget what it was called, like the merchant account or something. I canceled that because I don't want to pay $40 a month.
Right. Instead, we'll just pay $1 every time an item sells.
And I actually took off our Prime. We had Prime for a year because it was discounted last year. It was $75 instead of $99.
And we just thought we'd try it.
And it was fine, but we don't order stuff like.
Well, I mean, I think the problem is I misunderstood what Prime was. It's all about getting something quickly, but the problem is, as many people have pointed out, Amazon Prime prices are
more expensive.
Crazy stupid. I mean, it's like I'm a scavenger. I like things to be fast, and okay, it's cool if it's shipped for free, but it's not really free. I'm paying much more than if I just buy it from a merchant fulfilled Amazon. And I'm willing
for the shipping. Yeah.
I'm willing to wait a week or 10 days.
Yeah, it's
for
not
the
like
item.
for us. I'm like, I don't need something in.
So
day.
I canceled my Prime.
We canceled it
because it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's also interesting on the forum. A listener said that they heard us talk about getting cheaper internet by simply calling and asking for a cheaper price. He actually said
he or she, the
person, I think it was a he, but anyway, the other trash shelf said they called into their internet provider, talked to 2 people, and he got a half price internet deal.
This is what I love about the story, and it's just exactly what I did. He called and he got a discount. And he was like, you know what? Which is what I did. I want more of a discount. And they called back. And they got more of a discount. That's the amazing thing.
And I think like he said, and I'll just call him a he until it's proven otherwise, that you need to first be professional.
And calm.
And to have a reason.
Yes.
It can't just be like you're fishing for a discount.
Right. I think this person might have been in a rural area too.
And it's for us, the reason is our internet is not as fast as advertised.
Right.
And I think another reason, I think the one he also said is that he was considering going to another carrier.
Yeah.
So is there something you can do to make me stay?
Right.
And so
loyalty, brand loyalty. That's what those people are called.
Yeah. So anyway, try it. It's the first of the year. Try and get cheaper internet. And also, just kind of update for anyone that's interested in this kind of stuff. We actually this week had to update our server that runs the podcast and the forum.
Look,
we were actually, I don't know if anyone it's noticed, but we were actually down for a couple hours because we were getting emails from the service provider saying that we were over our bandwidth for the month. So we called the guy that handles our server, and we said you gotta upgrade. So we now have enough bandwidth to basically handle anything.
I think it's their highest tier.
Yeah,
we had to, because it was like even us, like you and me, going on the forum just to answer people's questions was like.
Yeah.
We were one of the highest people that hit the server, obviously, because we're on it all the time. But it was the combination of us and everyone else, which is kind of amazing.
So it's good. I mean, we're happy. We're happy that people are coming to the site, and but now we're kind of an official real website now. And also I forgot that Blogger, because it's a free a service that they were just handling all
that bandwidth. We never saw that bandwidth stats. We never saw the CPU usage because it's Google.
Right.
Wait, it's unlimited. It's infinite, kind of.
Okay, let's talk about our numbers. As some people mentioned on the forum, it was slow this week. It's like last Sunday came and suddenly sales ground to a halt. I mean, we made a third this week than we did a week ago. And that's a third in volume and in sales. And most of the sales we had were lower dollar items. The average price was only $27 an item. For the past couple weeks, we've been selling a lot of, over $100 items,
I need to preface our numbers with the fact that we had to change our handling time before we left.
Right.
That has to have something to do with it. And secondly, it's right before Christmas, and I think people stop shopping.
Right. To be clear, because we're going to town, we have to change our handling time so people...
Yeah.
It's transparent when someone's going to get their items, so we had to to change it to 15 business days.
Now, what sucks, and this is what kills me about eBay's handling time, you can't just type in the number, because it was 12. It was 12 days from the day we started it. And I was like...
12
business days.
Calendar days,
No,
right?
12 business days from when we didn't have access to our stuff, like at the farmhouse. And I was like, I wish I didn't have to put 15. I really want to put 12. So...
Yeah, if anyone from eBay is hearing this, what needs to happen is I should be able to, on when someone will get their item, we just say
the date
when we're going to ship.
Exactly.
We're going to ship on this day, and then it just changes.
That's it, yeah.
And not this fixed.
It's dynamic.
1, 3, 5, 10, 15.
It's like 1, 3, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20.
And so what we have to do while we're on this trip is every time an increment comes up,
I have to change them all.
we have to go in there and change, 500 at a time every 3 days. Instead of just, if we could just put that one time on there.
Just put the date.
And then eBay would incrementally change
like
it.
I'm shipping on January 3rd.
Right.
And it should dynamically show, if you're in Indiana and she ships on this date, you should get it by this date.
Right.
And I know that eBay imposes a limit. It's like 30 business days. That's fine. You can still do that with days on the calendar.
Right.
So that's my request.
So this week on our main store, we sold 29 items for $780.
It's rough.
On our second store, we sold 8 items for $310. So,
okay.
We made a total of about $1,100, which again, hey, we're on vacation and we made $1,100. No complaints on this side.
Okay, customer issues.
Let me start the story.
Okay, you start the story. You get it started.
I think you get upset and angry, and I'll be more professional.
Okay, I'll try not to.
We had a woman
that
made an offer on a bracelet.
Right.
And we accepted the offer.
Yep.
And we shipped it. The woman got it.
Yep.
We don't hear from her, and we notice she leaves us a neutral feedback.
Right.
And she says, got the bracelet, I'm not happy with it, but I'm going to work it out. I mean, basically that was what she put in the neutral feedback.
No, her neutral feedback was, nice item, but overpriced. That was the feedback.
Oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, but then she sent us a super long message at the exact same time.
Right.
So,
so go.
So, I mean, what you said just now is what she said in the message. She left the feedback, then she sent us the message that was like, this is clearly overpriced, it's not worth what you asked for it, which is hilarious, because we're like, you gave us the price.
Right.
And what can we do to work this out?
So this is what all of us are confronted by sometimes. You start to talk to the person,
right.
Email, or start to, argue.
Or engage with them.
And the answer is no. The first thing you do, and the first thing we did was you call eBay.
Well, first of all, the first thing was I saw her message, because you don't see feedback unless you look at the feedback page. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if she left us feedback. And she did. She left us neutral feedback. I'm like, I'm not writing back to this lady.
But to us, it was clear that it was basically extortion, feedback extortion. Because
let's work this out, in quotes.
Right. So, Ryan called eBay, and they took off the neutral.
Look, so I read this message and saw this neutral feedback at 6 a.m. on Christmas Eve. I made sure, I was like, I'm seeing if eBay's open for the call center today. So the second after they're opened, I called Anchor Support. Within 3 minutes, this guy had removed the neutral feedback, because he's like, wait a second, she gave you this offer and she gave you the feedback that it was overpriced. He's like, I'm removing this.
Now, the proper thing for the buyer to do is, if she's unhappy, she can just send it back. Open up a case and just say,
not happy with the item.
Not
changed
happy.
mind.
I mean, and to me, it's not that there's anything wrong. It's with the item. She's just not.
She doesn't want it.
Yeah, and that's fine. She can get a refund, and it doesn't need to be a dramatic back and forth.
Yeah.
And so we actually aren't going to answer her and she can open up a case or do a return if she'd like
That's
to.
what hassle-free returns
Yeah.
are for.
Because there's no upside to engaging a buyer who comes at you in that way,
And leaves you poor feedback at the same time. It's not like she was like, look, I'm unhappy, what can we do? It was like, here.
Right. And we're bringing this up. It's not because we like to complain about buyers. No. We just want to help, especially anyone new out there because I remember being new and getting these kind of emails and really taking this up personally and getting angry and being ready to go to war. I mean, the thing is, you don't do that. You do not engage buyers. eBay has a system, and if the buyer wants to return it, they can return it.
Now, I have to say this. I understand when there's a buyer with like one feedback or a handful of feedback. This is purely a buyer. She's not a seller unless she's a seller on another account. She's 1,500 feedback.
Right.
She's an experienced buyer.
Right.
She's either a seller or a collector. And you're like, the system and you know it enough to either do it right or be crappy. And that's what she was doing.
So net, at the end of the day, we solve the problem.
Right.
The immediate problem, and now she can make a choice whether she wants to return it or not and get her money back, and that's fine, But we're not going to lose sleep over this. Okay, so we are in New York till Wednesday.
Yep.
Then we go to your mom's house.
Mom.
Go with Jenna.
Trash elf mom.
Maybe she'll be on the next podcast. We'll bring her on if people if people are interested.
If she's nice.
If people are interested in hearing an update from Jenna,
Yeah, she's got updates.
Who is? Can we even call her an eBay seller?
She is. She just turned her store back on. She just turned it because she got home. Yeah. She got home to Massachusetts, so that's right. She'll have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'm sure. And we will see her new store, her new storage
her new setup.
Area.
Okay, let's answer some questions already. You can always call us on our voicemail line. The phone number is 540-407-8486. You have 3 minutes to leave a message. And that is not a limit imposed by me. It's imposed by Google.
Hi, Jane and Ryan. This is Stephanie from Philadelphia. Thank you guys for your show. I'm really learning a lot. I've only been an eBay seller for about a year, and I wanted to share a story with you guys and maybe get your advice of what I could have done in this situation. So a few months back, I decided to sell a piece of mine from my own jewelry box. It was a David Yurman expensive bracelet. I wanted the money. So I took it and I listed it. Someone bought it, made me an offer, and bought it for $550. And as soon as they received it, they contacted me and said they wanted to return it. Well, I knew right away in my heart that they were going to basically send me back fake, because I knew that this particular item is highly, counterfeited. So I accepted the return because in my listing I said that I did take returns, and so I just didn't know what to do. So I accepted the return. Knowing that I was going to get a fake back. She sent me a fake back. So I took pictures of the fake. I contacted eBay. I contacted her. I told her that I wasn't going to give her money back until she gave me my bracelet back. But she denied it and started saying that she was going to call the cops on me. So then I call eBay, of course, and I tell them what happened. And ultimately, even though I had pictures of before and after and everything, they sided with the buyer and gave her my money, basically. And so anyway, it was so upsetting to me. And so I look back and I still don't know how I could have avoided that situation, because even if I offered no returns on the item, they still, under eBay's policy, can return it anyway. So I don't know what you guys would have done in this situation, but apparently, pretty much in any situation, well, I guess, maybe not in all situations, but eBay tends to side with the buyer. So this person got away with stealing from me. I went to the cops and everything, filed a mail fraud thing, and it just went through a whole big headache, and nothing was done, and I ended up losing $550. So I wanted to tell you guys that story and see if is there anything I could have done to avoid that. Any kind of advice would be appreciated. Thanks so much, and again, thank you for your show. Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you for calling. This is a good situation, and we've heard this before, and I don't know if I have a great answer for you.
Yeah.
I guess it is totally possible that someone could buy, a diamond ring, get a fake diamond ring, and send you the fake diamond ring back. And yeah, eBay's like, how can you prove that they? I mean, I don't know. It seems like a trap, like a very well laid trap. If that happened, and the only answer I have is just like, I don't know. Maybe don't sell that kind of stuff on eBay, but I see people do it all the time.
Yeah.
Selling gold,
Yep.
and I mean, we've sold like little gold bars not gold.
I wish I had gold bars. They were silver.
Yeah.
They were sterling silver bars. Yeah.
One time, and someone. So I guess it's just like you got caught with a bad buy.
The other thing too about items like that I feel, it's hard to sell things like that on eBay, certainly. But maybe you need to sell those if it's high end enough at a physical auction where they can authenticate it. They will authenticate it. And then there's no, you're not interacting with the auction buyer. You know what I mean? Or you're selling it to a high-end jeweler or a high-end pawn shop that's like, I'm going to give you a good amount of money for this.
At the end of the day, it's really sad and it's tough, and I feel for you, and I really don't know what the answer is other than, I guess what I would do is to call eBay and to say, okay, maybe we're not going to come to an agreement on this, but I just want to let you know I'd like to make a formal complaint against this buyer that he or she has sent me a phony back, and put that in your messages, so if someone else complains about it, you'll see there's a history. And eBay, I would hope, would want to keep that information because
I think they do.
Yeah. So
when you report a buyer.
I don't know.
But that's hard. We're sorry to hear that, certainly.
Don't let it get you down.
Don't let it make you stop selling, please.
Hey, Jay and Ryan. This is Chad calling from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I had a question that I don't think you guys have ever brought up in your podcast. I'm wondering if you've ever considered using your skills to help people price an estate sale, maybe a side business. Has that ever crossed your guys' mind? Thanks.
Number one, hello.
Hi, Chad.
No, we have never thought about that. That'd be an interesting idea. We do know someone that runs an estate sale, and he's the cheapest guy.
To pay his people?
I mean,
we would not get paid very well if we work for him?
I think we've talked about it before. He's like, I can't get good help because he pays people like
$7 an hour.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really all about time, and how much we would get paid.
Yes, that's a cool idea. But for us, we're side business is our side business is renovating houses, which takes up so much of our time.
I don't know. I mean, it might be interesting,
consulting. It's like consulting.
To price stuff and then to make a deal, anything that's a leftover on Sunday afternoon.
We get to get it.
They would give it to us.
Like a barter system.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. We want these things and won't. But the other thing too is I find the people that I have experienced who run estate sales fancy themselves, and maybe they are experts at what they do already, so they know how to price that stuff already.
If you run an estate sale,
that's your job.
I mean, unless you're just kind of crazy, you're having selling stuff for so long that's what the job is pricing.
It's researching the price.
But you know what? I think he just makes a good point in the sense of as scavengers, all of us have a knowledge that's
Right.
valuable.
And it's quick knowledge now.
Yeah,
You know,
and,
you're like,
yeah.
oh, that's worth X amount.
Especially like, I see people out there that have very specific skills, like they know a lot about shavers or
Right.
trunks or
Right.
hi-fi equipment. I mean,
Yeah.
there might be a job. I mean, like a little side business where you could have like a website where people send you photos and
And you can
charge
help
them
assess them.
$20 or something.
Yep.
And be some quick cash.
And you know what? I have consulted people on items like that, rugs, trunks. I think the only thing I paid for was a consultation on a trunk that we found, a very special one. It was really hard to figure out what it was online. There was like almost none, and I paid him like $20, and he was like, "Oh, it's one of these, and here's more information to put in your listing." Which was really cool. But yeah, I think that could be a business. I think that's a really good idea.
All right, that is the end of the show. Check out our blog at scavengerlife.com for all the links we kind of talked about, and come to our forum and join the conversation.
So much conversation, it crashes the server.
Yeah, it's good. Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Please come. Don't be afraid. You can call and leave a question or comment on something that you heard here.
The phone number, again, is 540-407-8486.
So we post an episode every Monday morning, Sunday night, but definitely Monday morning this time.
Yeah.
Wednesday we post a What Sold, a video that Steve makes.
Steve.
So that way you get to see what sold,
How much it sell
and what
for.
it sold for.
Very valuable information.
Valuable information. You can subscribe to iTunes or through YouTube. So that way you'll always get the latest one. And you can hear our other podcasts. And we just made a new one over at shampooandbooze.com where you'll actually hear all the work we've been doing over the past couple of weeks. It's been a lot of work and a lot of money. And you can also rent our vacation farmhouse. If you've ever wanted to come and visit where we live and to meet us, January and February is really the time to do it. We will give trash shelf discounts galore because it's our slow time, and we'll have dinner with you if you'd like to. It's a good time.
Okay, we're ending this podcast in 3, 2, 1.
Bye.